What's good, kings and queens? Welcome back to another video on the channel. In this video, as you can see by the title, we'll be talking about protective styling. So we're going to be talking about what they are, the good protective styles versus the bad protective styles, those that you think are good but they're not actually good, or those that look good and they are protective styles but they're just not good for your hair. So we're going to be talking about all of that. We're going to be talking about all of that today. So with no further ado, let's get right into the video. But before we get into the video, if you're new to the channel, please hit the subscription button down below. It looks like this, and the notification bell right beside it so that you'll be notified of every time I post a new video. And with no further ado, let's get right into it. So what is a protective style anyways? As the name states, a protective style is any style at all that protects your hair from breakage or any form of damage that you can name. Whether damage to the strands of the hair follicles, to the ends, to the roots, whatever kind of damage that you can think of, it protects it against that damage. So I'm going to go ahead and show you some protective styles. And I'm going to pull them up on the screen so you can see them. So the first protective style, the one that I currently have in right now, these are just simple dookie braids. You can see, I'm gonna pull up the picture right now. So that's my hair in simple dookie braids. As you can see, it is by no means tight. It's not stressing my scalp. My follicles are not all over the place. It's not paining me. Even when I did it, the moment when I was done, I wasn't complaining. I couldn't complain that it was too tight or whatever. Yes, it's quarantine. We're not really going anywhere, but whatever. Whether or not you're at home or you're going out, the tight, like, it just don't make any sense. You're setting yourself up for something that you wouldn't even think of coming. You're setting yourself up for breakage. You're damaging your hair follicles, all of that stuff, and nobody wants that. You ever wonder why your edges are falling out? Well, yeah, that could be a reason. You do your braids, you do them real tight. Even if you don't see bumps or whatever forming like at the roots of the hair, like the starting of the braids or whatever, or these parts like right here and at the back, trust me, as long as it feels tight, it's like as long as it feels too tight, that is, no, it's just not worth it. Don't do it. Trust me, it's not worth it. If you think about it, you're pulling, like you're stressing the strands of your hair. Yes, you're doing that because you're putting it tight so that the strands are being tightened. But let's do some signs. The roots of your hair, the follicles inside, the cells that's in your hair, like, do like this, like take a strand and pull it and tell me if you feel it or not. So when you're stressing the strands of your hair and the roots and you feel that burning sensation, that really painful sensation, it is not worth it. You are damaging your hair follicles without even knowing that you are damaging it. So why would you do that? Whether for beauty or what they say, beauty comes with pain or whatever, don't do it. Like, seriously, no, I don't think so. But it's your choice, but I'm just telling you what's right and what's good for your hair. Alright, so let's move on to the second style. This one is my favorite. The only reason why I'm having dookie braids now, I was going to do this, but the reason why I'm having dookie braids right now is because I want to see, I'm going to pull this out in a month. I do want my update of the new growth, and I think a wash day. But let's see. The reason why I'm having this right now is to see how much my hair has grown within the month with the stuff that I use, just to see, or just to give an overview or whatever of the growth. Alright, so I would normally do this. This is the best, I remind you, it is the best protective style for your hair that you can think of, that I can think of, that anybody else can think of. It's not stressing your hair. It's not pulling too hard. It's not doing none of that. Sis, no, it's not doing none of that. Think about it. You're just twisting their hair, just twisting it down, and it's there, it flows, it's packed, it's just there, right? Your ends are coiled or whatever. And let me show you a picture of my ends. I do not twist it straight out to the ends because sometimes you might have single strand knots or fairy knots or whatever. So the purpose, like, it serves a really legit purpose to coil the ends rather than to twist the hair right onto the end. In this picture, as you can see, the ends are coiled and not twisted out to the ends, so that's how it is. And yeah. So let me show you a picture, another picture, the last picture of a protective style that I'm in. These are just simple braids down, plaits, or whatever you want to call them. They're just plaits, right? You can see it, they're just plaits. They're tiny. You can do huge plaits also, but just ensure that it's not too tight on the roots and it's not tugging too much on your scalp. Nah, sis, no, don't do that. You can do it loose. You can just like do it really not too slack, but just do it that you don't feel no pain, you don't go through anything, and when you sneeze you feel it and all those stuff. Like, no. All right, protective styles. I'm going to just give you some random pictures of protective styles with other people that I found on the internet. So this is a protective style. This is a protective style. These are the twists. These are the twists on her hair. This is really cute. This is a protective style. You can see it is not too tight, but it could be a little bit slacker. It's neat, yeah. But all right, the texture of your hair, whether you have 4A, 4B, 4C here, the braids might look different, the twist might look different. So don't compare your twist to somebody that has 4A hair. Don't compare your twist to somebody that has 4B or 4C hair when you know you have another hair type, right? So this is another style. And now the time that this is going to catch some of you red-handed, because whew, this is not a protective style. Might I mention, it is not a protective style. This, it looks good, yes, but it is not a protective style. Just look, it is neat. You don't even see any, yeah. And these are extensions or whatever you want to call it. So you can add those to your hair and whatever, and it still protects your hair just the same. But when you do it this tight, it's not a protective style. But if this was done like a little bit slack, all right, look at the front of her hair. You can see the holes in which the hair strands are coming out. Like, look at that. Don't, like, oh my god, stop saying that, okay, it looks better that way. You are damaging your hair. Some of you are guilty of it. Do you know why? Because you're doing the hair too tight, it's pulling and tugging. Then when you take it out, you don't have no edges, and you complain that you don't have no edges, and you wonder why you don't have any edges, and you do all of that and say, why don't I have my edges? Where my edges gone? They flew away, and all of that. Like you know what happened. Your braids were too tight. Like, they were just too tight. Like, come on, sis. So them braids, no matter how cute they are, how and angelic and whatever, how Barbie doll, or don't. All right, you can, so I'm saying that you can actually do it. You can do the braids, but nah, not too tight. This is another example. So I'm not saying anything is that wrong with this, but in this picture, you can see that her edges are bare. Her edges are bare. And she's still trying, like, personally, I would say, grow back your edges before you go ahead and do this again. Like, refresh them, let them grow out or stuff. Give them time before you, like, oh my god, don't do it. Because if that area is like that, the entire area, even where it has hair, the whole area is delicate. It is delicate. Your edges are not just the row that are here from your hair. All right, let me take your hair. This is how tall my edges are. So yeah, but your edges are not just right here. Your edges is basically all this right here. It's not just what is at the front line or whatever. It's, yeah, it's like a little bit thicker area. So that is that. So let's move on. This I'm guilty of, but at this time I never knew of protective style. I never knew. I was just curious about, okay, I want my natural hair to look bouncy, I want it to look real cute, I just want it to neat, and you know, like when it's that neat you can see the parts, and ooh, that was what I was thinking of. So in this picture you can see this was my graduation from high school, right? This is my hair. This isn't like no extensions and all of that. Like, no, these were no extensions. Like, I think it was curling iron, a thing. Yeah, it curls. Yeah. So that was used on my hair, and this was it. And trust me, yeah, it looks cute, right? But oh my god, just look at it. You can see it is way too tight, especially where the cornrows started. It is way too tight. I don't know, it wasn't all that tight that it like left me massive bumps or anything, but it was tight. And I wasn't even thinking that, okay girl, yeah, you shouldn't do it or whatever. I was just thinking about, okay, I want my hair to look real good because it's my graduation and all of that. Who knew? Who knew that I was not doing anything that's called protective? Anyways, I don't want this video to be long. If you want another video on protective style, please leave it in the comment section down below. Give this video a big thumbs up if you made it to the end. I really appreciate you, okay? I appreciate you. You are so, whew, yeah, you mean so much to me. I'm so tired right now. Please subscribe to the channel. And I love you always. Mwah. And we out.